Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello.
So as people are coming in, we have a bit of a homework assignment for you. If you can help us out, I'm dropping this into the chat. But if you can support us, help us spread the word on Product Hunt. We are launching. So if you can take just a second, open that up in a fresh tab. Yeah, we got people coming in. Oh, this is wonderful. Welcome, everyone. Hello. My name is Jacques with the support team here. I'm here with our lovely founders, Sarah and Andrew. And we are just waiting for a few more folks to join the chat to get started here. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We'll be just another couple minutes. And for those of you just coming in, if you look in the Zoom chat here, again, there is a link to Product Hunt. We would really appreciate your support, obviously, with that as we launch Autopilot here. So yeah, we'll give it just another couple minutes here and then we'll go ahead and get started. And in the meantime, if you guys want to let us know, where's everybody coming in from? We're always curious to know where our customers are. And we're doing that cheesy thing that they always do at the start of a webinar. Phoenix, Lauren,
Phoenix.
welcome. Awesome. San Fran, all right. Bay Area,
Oh,
represent.
The city.
awesome.
All right.
Very cool. Yep, launch day is always crazy. We're doing lots of activities, talking to lots of people and making it happen. Sacramento, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Good to see everybody
Sweden.
coming in. By the
Sweden.
way, from Sweden. All right, across the pond. Fantastic. By the way, for those of you who have questions, hopefully we will be answering your questions here as we go. But there is a Q&A button inside of Zoom as well, so be sure to send in your questions. Love seeing where everyone is writing in from here. I think a few more seconds here. We'll let a few more attendees join. And by the way, don't forget to stick around here. We will be giving out free AI credits for all of you here, so you can use those Autopilot credits. So yeah, definitely stick around here to the end.
We love some free stuff.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time building this and we want you guys to see that it works well. And so I think the purpose of the credits is just to make sure it works for you before putting any money in. So yep, that's what those are about.
Here, here. Here's to the early adopters. Thank you guys for helping us out. And for our beta testers, I know there are some of you, I recognize some of those names. So to our
Ooh.
beta testers on Autopilot, thank you all so, so much. You have helped to make this a reality. I think we're just about ready to get started here. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, man. 25 participants. So, all right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for this big launch of Canny Autopilot. I'm going to turn it over to our lovely co-founder, Sarah Hum here, to give you the lowdown, and then I'll be back in a bit. So without any further ado, Sarah Hum, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
Thunderous applause.
Jacques. I hear the applause. Thank you for joining. Today is all about Autopilot. If you haven't already and you didn't see Jacques' link, he posted the Autopilot Product Hunt link in chat. So if you haven't already, give us a little support over there. That'd be great. But yes, I am here with my co-founder Andrew. He's going to talk about Autopilot as well. And then Jacques will be doing a demo. So the idea for today is to go over everything Autopilot. If you have questions, we would love to hear those and make sure those get answered. But the agenda for today is we will go over all of the Autopilot features, including feature discovery, smart replies, and comment summaries. Talk about what they are, talk about what they do, talk about why we built them, talk about how they help your team, how they save you time, all of that good stuff. We will get a live demo from Jacques, who is now an Autopilot expert. We love it. And then we will just do a Q&A, make sure all of the things you're curious about get answered. And of course, if you stay till the end, you'll get some of those free Autopilot credits. So you can use and try Autopilot ASAP. But yeah, so I will turn it to Andrew to talk about what Autopilot is. Let's do that.
Hey, thanks for the introduction. So Autopilot is, we will read your customer support conversations, your sales transcripts, your public app store reviews coming soon. and basically just look for feedback, all powered by AI. And so that's the high level what Autopilot is. We will, so much feedback happens in sales conversations, customer support conversations, but at the end of the day, the product team doesn't always get all of that data, and so we want to make sure that you are getting all of that data. And that, yeah, LLMs have proven to be extremely good at analyzing these conversations, finding feedback, summarizing it, cleaning it up, deduplicating it, all of the things that, make it super digestible for the product team. And that's what that's about. On top of that, there's a couple other things with Autopilot, like comment summaries. And so some of your feature requests have a lot of comments where it's like, oh, this user wants it to work this way. This user wants it to work this way. And if there's, you have a lot of users that want one feature, there's 100 comments, then it can get a little crazy. And so we make that super easy. And then smart replies. Sometimes somebody will request a feature and you're like, hey, tell me a little bit more. Like, why do you want this? Stuff like that. And so we will actually automatically reply to your users, asking for more information. And so that is the high level of what Autopilot is. And I'll pass it back to Sarah to chat a bit more.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about why we built it and where this came from. I think like rewind, right? Like back to why Canny was built in the first place. Like we all agree that feedback is important, right? And when that becomes difficult is at scale, right? Feedback coming in from a bunch of different sources. You have customer support, you have sales, you have customer success, you have all these online platforms like G2, you have stuff coming in via email, internal feedback from your team via Slack, all of this stuff, and it becomes overwhelming. But you want to be able to make product decisions and inform your product decisions based on all of that feedback. But yeah, because it's coming in from so many different places, it's super difficult. And so pre-Autopilot, what that looked like was we relied on teammates, our customers, to be diligent about leaving their feedback, about tracking feedback via support conversations, via sales calls, all of that stuff. And via the Canny portal, which is what we still offer as a feedback option, is giving end users a place to give feedback, right? And so, hey, go to our Canny portal, leave your feedback there. We would love to hear it, that kind of thing. Ultimately, stuff will slip through the cracks, right? Like people are busy. After a sales call, a salesperson might have another call, and they might not have time to track feedback, and it just gets lost. End users, they might just be too lazy or be too busy themselves and not want to track their feedback either. And then you end up losing that valuable piece of information that you could have captured and used to inform your product. So that was pre-Autopilot. Now with Autopilot, the idea is you can simply connect those sources, right? Tell me you're using Intercom, tell me you're using Salesforce, all of this stuff, like link everything in one place. Autopilot then goes and identifies all that feedback, pulls in all the feature requests that they see in the conversation, that it sees in the conversation, deduplicates it, right? And so if multiple ideas are the same, it should be able to group those ideas together. So everything is organized. And at the end of the day, that means that you should be able to analyze it because it is a trustworthy source of data, right? I think the pain point today is that, stuff is coming in from all different places. Do we have a good source of truth? Are we making sure that we're tracking all of this? And the answer is probably no, because you rely on humans, you rely on people who are busy to make sure that is all tracked. So on top of that, as Andrew mentioned, we also have like other Autopilot features like Smart Replies and comment summaries that help you then dig into that feedback and make sure you can analyze it and extract the insights that you need to make good product decisions. And so at the end of the day, we're trying to remove that manual work from your palette, so you can focus on making product decisions, which is ultimately what Canny is here to help you do. Turning it back to Andrew, kind of, yeah, any other thoughts here on AI in general, AI powered feedback, all of that?
Yeah, really quick. I just saw Barry's looking for a demo of Autopilot next week.
Let's
That's something we can
go.
do. We are well equipped to provide demos, and so yeah, if you go on our website, there's a easy way to find a demo link to get that set up. But yeah, I mean, I think one thing that I wanted to add is, AI is this crazy buzzword these days, right? Like a ton of VCs are throwing ideas at the wall, trying to see what sticks. And I think a lot of people are putting together products that are kind of looking for a problem, right? Like they start with a solution, but we are very much, we're a bootstrapped company. We can't really afford to make super big bets and throw things at the wall and see if they stick. Like we're doing this because we know our customers have a problem, right? Like uh when a product manager signs up for Canny, or somebody who runs the product, they are looking for their sales and support team to track feedback. And the reality is that doesn't always happen. That vision doesn't always come true. And so we know that this is going to help them in their jobs, help them be more successful with our product. And so, yeah, I think we're super confident that this is the right direction for us as a company and as a business, and for our product and for our customers. And it's not just an AI thing looking for a problem. Like this is a problem that we are solving. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that I'm super excited about.
Yeah, I think like as AI has been blowing up lately, it's like, oh, are we just checking this AI box? It's like very much not that. It's very much about solving a problem at the end of the day. And that's how we've gotten Canny off the ground in the first place and how we expect to continue growing. So yeah. Andrew, would love to hear, I think, more about how we built it. And I think people would be curious about that.
Sure thing. We initially decided we were going to go in this direction a year ago, which is about when LLMs became popular. When GPT-4 came out, I think was a little bit over a year ago now. And we were like, how could this help Canny? And we came up with Autopilot. And yeah, ultimately, we really care about accuracy. Accuracy is super duper important because I think that's a big thing with AI is you can build a product with AI, but if it doesn't produce good results a large percentage of the time, it's really bad. People get really frustrated. Like I bet a lot of you have talked to chatbots and been like, wow, this chatbot isn't that great. Some chatbots are really good. Like, Intercom's Fin is like really, really good. We use that and it's been working great for us, but some chatbots really, really bad. And so that's an example of like AI not working well. And so we're like, how do we not have it work really bad? And so we made a spreadsheet of like 1,000 intercom conversations, and we're like, okay, which of these have feedback? What is the feedback? So that we can run it through Autopilot. And this is our own data, by the way, not our customers' data or anything like that. And run it through Autopilot and just check, does this have feedback? What is the feedback? Is the feedback that it finds the right piece of feedback? And to evaluate our solution. And at first, I think, maybe we were getting, I don't know, 60 to 80% accuracy. And we said, okay, that's interesting, but that's not good enough. And we basically set the benchmark at 99%. Like in order for this to be good enough for our customers, we need like 99% accuracy, because if the LLM reads a customer support conversation and either doesn't find feedback or finds feedback but doesn't quite describe it the right way, or just finds something that's completely irrelevant, that's really not helpful, and it's disruptive to our customers. We're trying to help people. We're not trying to get in their way here and add extra work to like clean up what the AI is creating. And so we set the benchmark at 99 and just spent a lot of time iterating on our approach. It's not as simple as just like asking one question to GPT, be like, hey, here's this intercom conversation. Does it have feedback? What's the feedback, right? There's a lot more that goes into it. Multiple AI services and prompt engineering, multiple prompts chaining, lots of stuff behind the scenes. And yeah, we ended up hitting that 99% internal benchmark where we're like, wow, this is working really, really well, which was a huge moment for us. And at that point, we opened a beta with our existing customers, and we said, okay, guys, we're gonna let a couple of you try this out with Intercom and Zendesk, some of the integrations we already had built out. And obviously with real world data, you're not going to get the same accuracy as with an internal benchmark. Everything is optimized for the internal benchmark. And so, but it was a great point where we're like, okay, now we're starting to notice like new patterns and trends, new things to fix, and are able to iterate on that and get accuracy higher for real world data. And so we're getting something that works not only for like one data set, but for multiple data sets. And as usage continues to grow, accuracy goes up as we identify more things to improve. It's not, it's not perfect. I think this is like V1, but it works really well. Like we've gone through it ourselves many times, and this is something that we're super proud to put in front of our customers. And we've identified kind of a couple next steps that we plan to work on, and we're working on those in Q2. Like a lot is happening. It's going fast, and we are excited to just drive, I don't know, drive more usage, drive more accuracy, improve it, and make it the best.
Yeah, to add to that, I think as we move forward, as Autopilot's out in the wild now, it's important that we continue getting feedback from you all. Like, we would love to hear how you are experiencing Autopilot, how we can improve it for you. Because yeah, like Andrew was saying, like, we tested it against our own data. And so will be really interesting to see how you are finding accuracy. And again, like, thank you so much to our betas who might be in this chat, who participated and helped us get it to where it is today. Thank you. Thank you. Before we head into our demo, and yeah, sorry, I think you guys aren't able to see each other's messages, but rest assured, we are seeing all of your messages. We are seeing all of your messages and all of the questions that you're asking. So we'll make sure to cover those soon. Okay. So really quick, just to kind of wrap up why we're doing this, I think ultimately, in terms of where Canny is going, our goal is to try to help people like you, build better products, right? And we think a crucial part of that is listening to customer feedback. And we've been doing that for as long as we've been around. But the way Autopilot fits in is automating that feedback collection part of things. And after that, even like extracting additional insights, stuff like that. Ideally, Autopilot gives people confidence that all of your customer feedback is being considered when you're making those important decisions. So yeah, I think I will turn it to Jacques. Hopefully that all makes sense. I'm going to turn to Jacques now to show you how it actually works if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, take it away.
All right, he's back. All right, I see some questions are coming in, folks. So please be using that Q&A button in Zoom to send in your questions. We will be answering those here in just a sec. But let me first go ahead and give you a quick walkthrough of the Autopilot settings here and just kind of show you around all the cool stuff that we've done. All right, so scooch that down there. There we go. All right. So yes, thank you, Sarah and Andrew. It is very exciting for me here to be supporting Autopilot. So yeah, without any further ado, Autopilot, welcome. This is Canny suggesting things you can do. You can use Autopilot in one of two ways. So you can either use it manually or you can use it in automatic mode, as we call it here. So let's head over to the settings. So with manual mode, you will see suggestions from Canny saying, hey, you can go ahead and do this or do that, and you can accept those suggestions or decline them. So I can just go ahead and say, yep, let's go ahead and merge this post. Dark theme for mobile, dark theme in general. Yeah, that sounds like the same post. Let's go ahead and merge that. We can also dismiss that suggestion, or we can go ahead and let's say add a vote to a different post like, yes, but actually I have a different post in mind. If a new post gets created in the Canny portal, so here's what's happening here. The source is Canny. Sue Ellen went in and created this, this post here. Do I want to keep this? Do I want to delete this? Do I want to actually add a vote to a different post? So these are all suggestions for things you can do manually here. You can also look through stuff that's coming in from sources. So I had a conversation with Nicholas in Intercom, and he mentioned customizable themes would be fantastic. Please, I can go ahead and create that post as a result of that suggestion. Last but not least, we do have a little spam option that you can use to go ahead and identify spam. We'll let you know how confident we are, and you can just mark it as spam. That will not only delete the post, it'll prevent that user from posting again and ban that IP address. Or you can say, no, it's not spam, go ahead and create it. Or you know what, delete the post, but we don't want to ban them permanently here. So that's the manual mode. Now, if you go ahead and automate actions like we recommend up here, obviously that bar goes away and Canny looks a little something like this. So instead of a bunch of suggestions for steps to take, this now becomes an audit log of things that Canny Autopilot has already done. So I can see, okay, this post was merged back on May 13th. I can go ahead and actually, let's add that vote to a different post. Let's create it as its own separate post, or let's go ahead and just undo the merge and delete it. I don't want it. You can go through and see, hey, this came in from Gong on a sales call. This sounds like a bit of feedback that we want to go ahead and add. I can either add it in, so it was created, or I can just leave it as is, it was created, or I can say, you know what, let's actually add that as a vote to a different post or delete this altogether. You can also, by the way, filter by your sources here. So if I want to see what's coming in from Canny, what did Canny do? Okay, that was already merged, and see all the sources here. So feel free to filter those. Now, you can go ahead and connect and enable sources here. By the way, if all of these are turned off, it means that AI is not running, or you're not sending anything to AI if you have all of these disabled. So no worries. For those of you who are AI skeptical and joining the call, we got you covered as well. All right, so we have that. We also, by the way, do have an API endpoint here. So if you don't yet have a source that is connectable to Canny, and we are working on adding more options for that, you can still pass things in to Canny and have our API get that over to the AI for processing there. So really cool stuff. Now, it's not just the Autopilot inbox, by the way. We do have a couple of other cool features that you can use here. You can use Autopilot to summarize comments. So if you have a post that has more than 10 comments, you can say, hey, Canny, go ahead and summarize the comments for me, would you? And that way you don't have to read through all the comments that are here and get that context. You can just go in and get a broad overview of that. So that is very, very helpful. And also we have Smart Replies. So Smart Replies, you can enable this per board in your board settings. And basically what this will do is generate a response here. So someone creates a post saying, hey, a dark mode option would be nice. Fantastic. Can you give us a bit more detail here? So to show a live example here, Dan went ahead and said, hey, I want a dark theme for mobile. Hey, thanks. Can you specify which features you use most on mobile that you want to see in dark mode? Are there any specific elements that cause more eye strain than others? Are there other apps that we should draw inspiration from? All of this is fantastic feedback. And the goal here is to refine feedback so that you're getting the absolute best. Your customers are engaged. They feel heard, because when I make a suggestion and someone says, oh, tell me more. Do you mean like this? Do you mean like that? Can you expand on that? They're going to feel like they're more a participant in helping you build your product here. And yeah, we also do want to touch on billing. I'm sure that is a big question going off in a lot of your heads here. So we mentioned credits. So for instance, processing a conversation costs a credit. The Gong right now uses 5 credits, since that's audio calls. It requires a little more, but feedback discovery, it's 1 credit per conversation that we process here, and that's regardless of whether it results in a suggestion. So if we're looking through a conversation, even if there's no suggestion there, that still uses up 1 credit. Generating a smart reply or a comment summary will also use 1 credit. Now we do have credit allotments on each plan. Those of you on the free plan, we'll still get you covered here. 25 credits on the free plan. Starter, you guys get 100 credits. Growth is going to be 500 credits. And if you're on the business plan, please reach out to your business manager. We have got you covered here, but that does vary based on the contract here. You can also, by the way, set up a usage limit. So I can say, hey, my limit is 0. I don't want to pay anything more than my base price. Perfectly all right. You can go ahead and set that usage limit. Or you can say, you know what, if we're over by $40, that's fine. 400 additional credits here to process any conversations that are not covered in that allotment. So feel free to play around with that. If there are any questions on credits, I'm sure that'll be a topic of conversation. Obviously, we have our chat function here. You can reach out to us. We also do have a very detailed guide to the Autopilot here in our help docs. And by the way, we do have links here to everything. This is a fairly extensive help doc here. So if I want to learn more about credits per se, I can just click and skip straight to that here. So thank you all very, very much. Again, I'm very much looking forward to answering all your questions here and documenting that. By the way, we will have a video walkthrough here very soon on this. So for those of you who are more video oriented and less text oriented, we've got you covered as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Sarah. Or actually, no, we're going to go into Q&A. So
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Nice deer in the headlights look. All right. So for those of you who are just joining us, please be sending in your questions using that Q&A button. All right, Nick Saunders, are we able to provide content from our help docs to help provide context for the automated replies? Not yet, but I will give this to Andrew. He'll have a bit more on the technical aspects of giving more context here. So take it away, Andrew.
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, this is one of the pieces of feedback that we've gotten when working with customers in our beta is that it feels a little bit at times like the AI is missing context from our business or our product. And so that's something that we're actively working on right now and aiming to get in your hands as soon as possible is a way to provide that context. We aren't 100% sure exactly how it's going to work yet, whether it's going to be, we feed AI like your website or your help center, or if you're able to feed it custom information that you type out yourselves. But yeah, that's coming very soon. And today, it uses some context from your existing feature request. So for example, if one user already asked for dark mode, another user asked for dark mode, obviously it isn't going to create two separate feature requests. It knows that that feature request already exists. And so there's some level of context that's already there, but that is definitely top of mind and top priority in terms of what we're iterating on right now.
Yeah, and I assure you it's only going to get better, and it's pretty damn good right now. All right, are we able to pick and choose which features of Autopilot we want to use? For example, comment summary, but not auto reply. Yes, absolutely. I kind of touched on that during that walkthrough. So yeah, you don't have to use any part of AI that you don't want to. If you want to disable it altogether, that's perfectly fine. Canny is still Canny. You can still use it as you have been using it. So no worries on that. Next up, can I check what the AI did and fix it if I need to? Yes. So yeah, if you have automation turned on, that Autopilot tab in Canny is going to become an audit log. So you can see everything that Autopilot has done. And if you need to undo anything, easy peasy. So that is done.
And to add to that, if you are extra nervous that it's going to do the right thing, like you can have it in manual mode. And so instead of doing anything at all, it will just provide suggestions, and then you can approve the suggestion, dismiss it. And obviously we monitor dismissals. And so if you ever say like this suggestion doesn't look good, then we'll take a look and figure out, okay, why are people dismissing things, and use that to improve our product. But our goal internally is that as many people as possible turn on automation, because we want people to have confidence in our technology, that our technology is working well. We obviously want our technology to be working well. And so yeah, our goal is to build confidence and trust in the tech so that people turn on automation and use it in that audit log mode. But if you have any anxiety at all, that's what manual mode is for.
Yeah, and that's also why we built the audit log. Yeah, like Andrew said, like ultimately we want you guys to be in auto mode. Like we want to completely remove that work from your end. And so instead of monitoring all the manual action or all the actions and doing it manually, would love to have you in automated mode. But that's also why, yes, we provide that audit log so you can say, okay, every once in a while, take a peek at what the AI has been doing and then remove or adjust things as need be. But yeah, again, we are working on accuracy. Like that's really top of mind for us. And so if there's any feedback that you have as you use Autopilot, we would love to hear that.
All right, fantastic. All right, next question from Kat Cologne. Hello, Kat. I know we've chatted before. I'm sure this will be covered, but I'd like to understand the usage credit. Are there default amounts provided to all subscription tiers? Yes, based on the subscription tiers. And just to go over that again, 25 on free, 100 on starter, 500 on growth. On the business plan, it is custom, so reach out to your account manager if you're on the business plan. If credits are all add-on, are there pricing structures for us to review? Yes, you can go ahead and set that usage limit, but credits are not all add-ons. You do have credits included with your monthly subscription. So what are the average amount of credits used for Autopilot? What are credits actually being used for? So as far as the average goes, that, well, I'll turn it over to Andrew here.
Sure. I mean, I think that really depends. It depends on like how many feedback sources you have. If you have all of your support conversations and all of your App Store reviews, G2 reviews, and sales transcripts, and you have a huge sales and support team, that's going to be, a lot of credits. And so, also, if you're a consumer company and you have a lot of volume, then you might have a ton of support queries, and so that might be a lot of credits. Whereas if you are like an enterprise B2B company, you might just have a couple conversations with very big customers at a time. And so yeah, it really depends on the size of the company. It depends on your average revenue per user. If you're selling consumer enterprise, depends on the extent you want to set it up. If you just want to do support, or if you also want to do sales, if you want to do reviews. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you yet. I think the answer, unfortunately, is that it depends.
I
Yeah,
think,
it does. Oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
I think one way, if if you're trying to estimate kind of where you would be in terms of your credit usage, let's say, for example, you use Intercom and you turn on the Intercom integration, you can kind of go back and see how many Intercom conversations you are closing on a monthly basis. If you connect Intercom to Autopilot, we will process all of those conversations. So that gives you kind of an estimate of how much that would be.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as the credits used for, it's also not free on the Canny side of things, so that's why we do give an allotment of credits, and then additional credits are billed there. So, all right, thank you very much, Kat. Next question: how many comments can it summarize? However many comments you want. I'm sure there is a limit, and if we find it, then we will let you know. But so far, we have not run into any kind of limits on that. So yeah, if you run a comment summary, it can summarize all the comments that are there.
I will add
Next.
that there needs to be at least 10 comments for you to see the summary button. So if there's less than 10, you kind of don't need a summary. So we only show that button if you have a good number of comments already.
Correct. Does Autopilot replace the current Smart Reply and Summarize functionality? No, those are just parts of Autopilot. So if a Smart Reply is generated, that is one Autopilot credit. If a comment summary is generated, that is one Autopilot credit. So it's all powered by AI. So it's all kind of under that same Autopilot umbrella. Thank you, John.
To add to that, Autopilot is anything that leverages AI to save you time, to automate things. And so we're really about, automating feedback management, and that can be either on the input side, getting data in, but also managing that data once it's in there. And so, yeah, Autopilot is all of that, automating feedback management.
Exactly. Oh, all right.
No, I just
yes,
wanted,
exactly. Go ahead.
Sorry. Just wanted to add that right now the settings for Smart Replies and comment summaries are still kind of tucked away where they originally lived. But the idea is to bring it out to the Autopilot settings so you can see you can control and configure all of your Autopilot features in one place. So that is also incoming.
Exactly. All right. So can I set a limit on how much extra I'll get charged for using Autopilot? Yes and yes. I touched on that during the walkthrough, but yes, in the billing settings, there is now an Autopilot usage section in the billing settings. You can determine how many credits you want to allot over your initial allotment per month. If that's 0, that's perfectly fine. But yes, you can absolutely set a limit. You can disable that altogether. We will still have a cap of 5,000 credits though. So even if you don't have a usage limit set, it is still capped at 5,000 credits. If you need more than that, feel free to reach out. But yeah, no worries on that. Next question here. How many feedback sources can I connect and which ones? So right now we do have 4 sources available. You can connect Intercom, Zendesk, Help Scout, and Gong. So those are the 4 external sources you can connect. The Canny portal is also a source at this point. So yeah, those are the 4 sources you can connect. Again, you can also use the API endpoint to pass in additional data if you have another source. So feel free to leverage that as well. We are working on more, obviously. So if there's one you'd like to see in particular, just head to our Canny board and vote for the one you'd like to see, so we can keep you updated on that. Got to plug Canny. Next from Anton, can you describe inputs and integrations? What if I record my Google Meet calls with customers? Do I need to get a transcript of it? Can those be auto-digested? So kind of what we were discussing before, we don't currently have an integration for Google Meet, but we do have the API. So if you can get a transcript of that, you can send it to the API for that to be digested. So yeah, feel free to go ahead and send that, but we don't yet have a Google Meet integration.
On that note, I don't think Google Meet would give you a transcript off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure they would just give you like the MP4 file, the video file. And so there are tools out there that specifically transcribe sales calls. Like, for example, Gong is one that we integrate with today. TLDV is another really good one. And so, yeah, if you can work with one of those tools to get the transcript from the video file, then we integrate with that tool. That would be the preferred way to get that into Canny. Um, but yeah, right now, just Gong, I'd imagine, I think our main focuses for this year for sources are going to be customer support conversations, sales transcripts, and reviews, G2 reviews, App Store reviews, stuff like that. And so if you have a source you're looking to connect and we do not support it, let us know. And we are highly motivated to close that gap.
All right, fantastic. So next question, can you moderate smart replies, i.e. have replies in draft mode ready to go? Answer here is no, the smart replies do deploy automatically. However, you can go in and edit the smart reply after the fact. But yeah, we don't have a draft for those. The goal is for that to deploy very quickly after the user creates that post. That way they're still thinking about it, they're still engaged with it. So yeah, no, not currently. If that's something you'd like to see changed, I'm sure there's a post for it in Canny. If not, feel free to create that in Canny.
I will add to that really quick because I'm like the author for a lot of our smart replies. So first of all, they go out kind of like an hour to two after the user gives their feedback. So it kind of simulates reality. But also what I will tend to do is, if I didn't get what I want from the smart reply, is I'll just continue the conversation. Usually the smart reply will go out and then the customer will reply back with an answer to those questions. And then I can additionally continue and follow up there. The point of it is to, continue and open the conversation, right? And so continue extracting additional insight, anything I need to give the feedback some color, make sure I have all the information I need when it comes to prioritizing. So yeah, it's a conversation starter.
All right. Next question. Will you add more feedback sources? Oh, you better believe we will. Yes. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. Next one from John here. Is the LLM private? I'll let Andrew handle this one.
We are not just using one model. We're using multiple models. I will give you a little hint. We did add OpenAI as a sub-processor recently, and so we are working with OpenAI models. We've tested a bunch of different models. We've tested the Anthropic models, and we've tested some open source ones. We've tested a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I mean, these things, new models are coming out every month, and they just keep getting better and faster. And so I would not be surprised if the underlying model changes over time. Obviously, we want to provide the best accuracy possible. And if, better technology comes out or faster technology or cheaper technology, whatever it is, would not be surprised if in the next year, we're using a slightly different stack than we're using today.
Yeah. And also just as far as data security goes, your information is not used to train the models, I believe. Yeah, we're using the API. So yeah, no worries. We're not scooping in your data to help them train their models. We do have kind of a closed system for that. All right. And Nick, if I enable Canny posts on Autopilot today, should I expect it to be scanning existing posts or only new ones created from today on? I believe we go through the past 30 days worth of feedback on that, but I'll let Andrew speak to the technicals on that.
I actually do not know the answer to that.
I believe it's 30 days as well. But maybe we'll
yeah.
need to double check. But yeah, I think it's 30 days.
Yeah, if that is of interest to you, please feel free to start a chat. I'll go ahead and confirm. But yeah, for now, I'm pretty confident it is that we will look through the past 30 days worth of feedback if you enable that today, and then it'll go from there. All right. Tawhid, is the Canny team still using Autopilot? Any learnings? Yes, we are. Quite a bit. I'll go ahead and let Sarah kind of speak to this on.
Yeah. I mean, smart replies and comment summaries are always on. And so when I reply to your feedback, that is my smart reply. And again, like that is a conversation starter and a way for me to collect any additional information I might need to prioritize. Comment summaries, obviously, when threads are long, super useful. When it comes to feedback discovery and extracting feedback, that is super helpful to a lot of our team. Like we have Jacques here, we have Julia, who's our customer success manager, we have Alice in sales, who, it's hard for them to stay on top of things. And so when I see things and I can see stuff pulled from like Alice's gong conversation, a sales call that Alice had, it's kind of like a magic spark for me. Like I kind of don't expect Alice to always follow up with me on that. And so just seeing that is super, super helpful. Obviously, I think accuracy, like we mentioned, is something that we're looking at quite a bit. I think for us, it's quite good. I think I'm really excited to see what you guys experience with it, and we're hoping to continue to improve that. But yeah, I find it super helpful. I love not having to do that manual work and kind of expecting my team to always stay on top of it. Hey, like, are you making sure you're tracking all your feedback? Like Autopilot just does it for us, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And that's from the people who work at the feedback company. So you can imagine how much feedback is left on the table at other companies as well. So, all right, next question. Will Smart Replies ask the same questions each time? No, those are dynamic based on what they are asking, based on the other feedback that has already been submitted. So yeah, no, that is very much dynamic. It is thinking before it asks a question here. Will you add more feedback sources? What are you building next? We will add more feedback sources. I don't know if I can disclose what are we building next. So
I'll touch on that a little bit. The idea, right? Like as I was saying at the beginning, is to get all your feedback into one place so you can make informed product decisions, right? So assuming Autopilot is perfect, right? You want to make sure you can use all of that information, and Canny then gives you analytics, charts, graphs, all of that good stuff in order to help you, pick out what you might want to put on your roadmap, what you might want to deliver to your customers next. So that's kind of the system, right? Feedback in one place, analyze and extract ideas and extract insight into what we should prioritize.
all right. And it looks like this is the last question here. So if there is anything burning, use that Q&A button here. But we are almost over time. So, all right. Does Canny review existing posts to find duplicates and merge them in the backlog, or does it do it only when new posts are created? So if there are existing duplicates in the backlog, like I said, I think we will look through the past 30 days.
Yes.
And find any posts there. But if there is anything back in the backlog, I don't think that we're surfacing that currently here. But I'll let our co-founders speak to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's 30 days. I mean, if you're brand new to Canny, that won't be a problem because it will do that from day one. But yes, if you're an existing customer and you have a giant backlog, sorry, that's something that you might have to comb through and clean up a little bit. But moving forward, as long as you have the Canny toggle on, Canny will deduplicate all of your incoming ideas.
All right, fantastic. And with that, we are done with Q&A. Thank you all so much for all your questions. That has been a lot of fun. All right, I will turn it back over to Sarah here.
Yeah, I think that's all we really wanted to share today. If you haven't already, we'd love your support on Product Hunt. Jacques, maybe you can send that link again. Thank you, Tahid. Thank you for being here. We are seeing your messages. I'm so sorry. I don't think you guys are seeing each other's, but again, looking forward to your feedback as you use Autopilot. That's why we give you all of the Canny plans some credits so you can see the magic of Autopilot. And yeah, we are expecting to continue to improve it and expanding Autopilot, adding more functionality, improving accuracy, all of that good stuff. Thanks, Ryan. Okay, so really quick for the free credits. So we're giving away $50 worth of AI credits for you guys for being here today, which equates to 500 credits. So how you can go about doing that is reaching out to Jacques. I don't know where you are on your screen, but reaching out to Jacques via live chat. So just mention that you were here at the webinar, and he will be able to set you up with those free credits. Hopefully that makes sense. But yes, otherwise, I think we're good to go. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Oh. Thank you so much for being here today. Try out Autopilot. We'd love to see what you think. And we'll catch you soon. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.